You're probably thinking, life-changing, that's a bit exaggerated, Roland. Then let yourself be surprised, join in right away, and in a few weeks you can tell us in the comments whether I exaggerated or not. I am already super excited to see what your experience will be like. The first exercise we're starting with is aimed to stretch out everything that accumulates in the body from this one-sided sitting. And please get into the crawling position and briefly become aware of your lower spine by trying to arch upwards. And then place your hands in a way that you can hang well and try to lead with the groins to hang yourself, and at the same time try to keep your belly button as high as possible. Also, the groins should go down and the belly button up. Groin down, belly button up. And then you let yourself hang in there nicely and eventually feel the stretching in the area of the abdomen, the hips, the groins, and let yourself sink deeper and deeper. And one more small detail, but important, go on your tiptoes. So don't lay your feet flat, but instead place them upright, because then you activate a specific muscle that is strongly involved in knee, hip, and back pain. And let yourself sink beautifully. And now please press with both knees as hard as possible against the ground. Really push nicely, release again, let yourself sink further. And press against the ground again, press really hard against the ground, relax, and let yourself sink further in. Breathe in and out nicely, and as you exhale, go a little deeper, and then press firmly with your knees against the floor and relax and go a little further down. If you can't hold yourself up with your arms and shoulders, it's good to simply lay your forearms on the couch or chair so you don't need as much strength to hold yourself. And then you come out, and we always like to do the following in this exercise. When we come out, you sit down as far as possible and pull yourself forward a bit in the trunk with your hands. So the torso comes down further very gently, and then you feel in the lower back. It is a nice compensatory movement for this exercise. It's quite good to do it briefly afterwards. Now we have worked in the front, and now we want to work in the back. And now please stretch out both legs in front and pull yourself forward by grabbing your legs. Or the fabric of your pants. Just go further. It doesn't matter if you're here. Just try to keep moving your legs forward. Feel deeply that pulls in the back of the knees, in the popliteal fossa. Fully extend the knees, and it pulls in the lower back, which is correct. And in the lower back, that is so important because that's where all the tensions are, where your masseur or masseuse always says these muscles are completely tense. Now we're trying to gradually release the tension. Keep moving further forward, bit by bit if you can. You reach for your toes, but most people can't do that, so I'll show it like this now. And then you pull back with your torso because you are holding onto your legs with your hands. That doesn't go backwards, and that is exactly the exercise. Relax again, and then you go a little further forward and you pull your torso back again, nice and far back. But do not allow any movement and relax again and come a little further forward. And again, you pull and pull and pull, release and move forward, and then slowly come out again. Now I will quickly show you something, because you can make the exercise much easier if you use our loop. You can also use a towel instead of the loop or a belt, and now you can pull yourself forward wonderfully. Even if you come this far, the arms are now long enough to continue working your way forward, and a few weeks later, a few months later, you are eventually up here, reaching for your feet. All just a matter of daily practice. We will talk about this again in a moment. And when counteracting, you also have the advantage that you pull your feet forward and want to pull your torso backwards, so the foot strength comes into play. The other was just the back strength. You can find information about the loop here. And then we slowly come out again. And after the first two exercises, just feel a little bit into it. How did it feel before? How does it feel now? Is it better? Write a comment, report if anything has changed. Feel free to give a thumbs up. In the third exercise, we'll focus on the chest to pull everything up nicely. Super important for overall well-being. And that's what we want to change positively. Look, you are now moving the chairs in such a way that you can adjust the strength accordingly when you move back with your knees. So that you can increasingly dive your arms over the shoulder line at an angle of 30 degrees. And then it pulls into the elbow, into the shoulder, maybe even into the chest. Maybe it even radiates into the upper back, as I said, into the chest also. No matter where it pulls, hold the pulling so that it is just still bearable, just a positive feel-good pain, and increasingly move into this stretch. I can't look at you right now, but I'll describe with words. You probably can't look either. Oh, what I forgot to say, if you don't have two chairs, but a corner that is free, then go to the corner and do exactly the same standing in the corner. And first of all, keep breathing in nicely. Always remember, stretching must be fun. This must already create a feeling of well-being while stretching, and even more so after stretching. And if you manage to adjust it like this, and this is possible with regular practice, then practicing itself is a pleasure. You'll see afterwards is a huge relief, and a few hours later there is still a bit of a relief feeling every day. Keep coming further down. Then we can start by pressing against the chairs with our hands, or if you are practicing in the corner, pressing against the walls and releasing and coming further down. And again, you press against the chairs, relax, and come further down. And again, press against the chairs, press firmly against the chairs, and relax, and come further down. And slowly up again. Feel in and enjoy it. I'll give you a moment. Isn't it wonderful? So this is one of my absolute favorite exercises because it feels just so amazing. Sorry, but that's just how it is. If you can understand this, how great I feel, because you also feel so great. Yes, like we're in the deep sea. Share this video with these 4 exercises with everyone you know. You'll be doing them a great favor for their well-being in life. And they will thank you endlessly. And if you pass that on to them, then please also tell them, say hello to them, and ask them to write a comment so that it spreads, because we simply want all people to know how to train for well-being if they know how. And now the fourth life-changing exercise, it's about the calf, foot, sole of the foot, Achilles tendon, the whole area, and up to the knee. Look, go to the front of the wall and test. Do you feel a slight pull with fully extended knees? If yes, you can stay like that. If not, you go back a little. So you have to go back until you feel a slight tension when standing with your arms and knees extended. This would be up to here. But it is already quite extreme. It may be that it is much further forward for you, and then it is also easier to counteract with the wall. The fitter you become, the more arm strength you will also gain. That is the good thing about this exercise. And now I simply bend the arms. I bend the arms and keep the knees completely straight but active, and the heels, they stay on the ground. And then you feel the stretching at the back of the calf up to the knee pit. Breathe in and continue further and further with the breathing. And then you press the forefoot against the ground, release again and go further in. And press both forefeet against the ground again, let loose, go further in. And again you push against it as if you wanted to tiptoe and try to push the wall away through this force, go further in. And again you press against it, relax, go further in. Always straighten the knee, fully extend both knees. And again you push against it, push against it, push against it, relax and go further in. And slowly come out. Look, and this is the variation when you practice on the knee hero. You just let yourself hang very comfortably, always further. If you don't have the knee hero yet, you can also somehow place a brick or stack a few books on top of each other that match the height. Yes, that would be the alternative that makes practicing easier. What is very important to me is that you understand if something is really going to change, life-changing, then you have to practice regularly. I don't like to say the word must. It's not meant to be mean, but it's really important that you practice daily. And I know how difficult that is. Try this video, see how it works for you. You can subscribe to my channel. I think you will be thrilled. And if you want to have a morning routine, so exercises that you should do every morning, then click here. I wish you a lot of fun. See you next time.